Oh snap! What is that? A video going out before 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time? Is that? I must be getting my groove back. Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we will be going over the Set 3 Black Super Saiyan 4 Goku 100% Archetype breakdown. And yeah, a lot of people are excited for this new color. Some people more on the Super Saiyan 4 side, some people more on the Bardock side. And yeah, I am going with Super Saiyan 4 first because I did a Bardock video not even a couple of videos ago, and I want to make sure we let that air out before we do another one. But fret not, if you guys do want some juicy Bardock content, Bardock was the first deck that was voted on my Patreon for me to do a deck list and deep dive explanation into. So if you want to skip the waiting line, it is up live the same time this video is. All you gotta do is go to the Patreon, join up, and check out that article for yourself. Speaking of the Patreon, we will be giving away the top 64 Vegeta card, and we're gonna close off those entries at the end of July. So make sure you join in on that if you haven't joined in already. So with that being said, let's hop into the content. So I'm gonna be the first person to say this. This deck through and through is an actual toolbox. And it is very interesting because when you look at these two decks between Bardock and SS4, Bardock is very much so a interesting aggro deck. Whereas I do believe that SS4 Goku is more like a toolbox and will be better able to adjust to the format. And by the time we're done going over all these cards and giving the overview, you guys, I think, are going to reach the same conclusion. So first and foremost, we have the leader, and of course attacking, draw one card, flipping over when it is at 4 or less life. And then you have the awaken side, which is where you start seeing some of the theme of this deck. When attacking, draw one card, and then once per turn, you can pay one, choose up to one of your battle cards. It gets plus 10,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. If you remove an energy marker with it, though, it's going to gain 15k power. Now, as we've discussed before on the channel, it's very important to note that it happens until the end of your opponent's turn, because this is going to make it harder for red to lower it down to 0 with their power minusing effects, and also it's going to put them out of range for a lot of red's destruction effects. It'll make it harder for yellow to swing over it, so that really only leaves red, blue, and then black, who can also get up to very high levels of power to get over your cards. So some pretty good protection versus yellow and red. I like that. Now, the fact that it requires you to use an energy marker kind of also shows you how often you will need to have one on the field. So the first thing we're going to talk about are the cards that add energy markers to your board. First and foremost is an SR from the Bardock structure deck. This says on play, place one card from your hand at the top of your or bottom of your the owner's deck, and then if you don't have an energy marker, place one energy marker. If you go second in this deck, you're going to always have the energy marker starting off, so you have a little more leeway with how these combos start with some of these things. But if you don't go second, you do have a card like this to have a turn 1 play and give yourself an energy marker at the cost of 1 card in hand, which is going to be a lot more bearable now that we can draw on the first turn. So imagine just gaining an energy marker going first by tapping 1 energy. That's what this is essentially, because you're going to be, that is what it is. Now that we have the draw, it's not like you're going super neg, you're just not getting that draw that we just actually got because of a rule change. Now, moving on to a card that's not as good, you have Dr. Mew, and Dr. Mew is a 1 cost 5k power, 10k combo power card. I'm sorry I didn't mention the stats for the last card too, it's just hilarious. I didn't think there was a reason to mention that. But activate main once per turn, 1, discard 1 card from your hand. If you don't have an energy marker, you place 1 energy marker. This guy is not necessarily, in my opinion, as good as Kakarot. You discard a card instead of just putting it at the top or bottom for you to get it later. But the thing is that it's a 10k combo, and if it doesn't get popped, it will be able to continue using this effect for as long as it can stay on the field. That being said, it's a 1-drop, so we already know what goes on about this. Minus 5k is nothing for green effect or for red effects. Blue is going to have a field day just getting rid of this card whenever it pleases. Yellow can tap it and swing on it pretty easily. Green, yeah, green is the kind of color right now that has to go out of its way, because unless you want to start playing commies, which may not be a bad thing now that Piccolo's out, we will look into that. That will be probably our next video. But yeah, you have the ability to really get in there with these effects. Now, past that though, this is a good card for what it's worth. It's just not searchable, and it's just not feasible to think is going to survive that long. Next, we've got Bulma, and no, this is the bottom of the barrel for me right here. 1 cost, 5k power, 10k combo power, so it's got all the same cost and power weaknesses that Dr. Mew does, except its effect is wild. Activate main once per turn, pay 3, draw a card, and then if you don't have an energy marker, place an energy marker. I honestly don't understand why this card was printed. If you play a 1-drop and pay 3 and that's your turn 4 play to gain an energy marker, you didn't do anything that turn. There's never a point where I think I would pay 3 to draw a card and gain an energy marker. There's just so many better ways to do it in the deck. But again, I'm always open to not just being wrong. So if you want to let me know how this card is not cheeks, just let me know. Honestly, I'm here for it. So moving into this next card that's not cheeks, you've got Son Goku GT, and this is an SR. He's just on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and then if you don't have an energy marker, you place 1 energy marker. Straightforward, powerful. If you're going second, you can use 2 energy and an energy marker to play him, and then gain an energy marker back. That's a beautiful interaction. He's a 25k swinger at that point, and he can come out as early as turn 2 if you're going second. Heck, even if you're going turn 1st, that's great. Or turn 1, that's great. Even if you're going first, because you could play a turn 1 Kakarot, put a card to the top of your deck, gain an energy marker, and then your next turn you charge to go to 2, play this guy using the energy marker, getting your energy marker back. Those are some bread and butter plays. This guy is just an auto 4 of, and I just don't see how you couldn't think so. Then you have the energy creator, the token, the energy marker spammer of sorts. This is just Son Goku GT, and honestly, I'm not gonna hold you guys. This guy has a really good effect, and he's only hampered by his cost and stats. So he's a 4 cost, 30k power guy, SS4. When attacking, once per turn, if you don't have an energy marker, you place an energy marker. Beautiful. And then end of your turn, if your energy marker is removed from the game during this turn, draw 1 card. He's going to keep your hand healthy. He's going to spawn energy markers as long as he survives. Understand that 4 cost 30k is not a very sticky number by any means. Red can minus you by 5,000 a gajillion ways, and they have a bunch of cards that pop 25k or less. Blue is going to look at this 4 cost and be like, lol, and sickle it, absolute lightning it, whatever they really need to do. If they have a Vegito on the board, they can hit you with that new 4-drop Gohan. There's just a lot of ways to get this guy off the board. Yellow, unfortunately, they're gonna have to just try to tap this guy, but they can lock him down and stop him from getting his win attack effect, which is very relevant. And then you have green, which is gonna be able to deal with this guy fairly easily. If black, I do think that black is going to be green's like worst matchup, probably, or one of them, along with like extremely wide aggro yellow. So I do think that yes, they might have a little bit of trouble, but if you're playing something like Piccolo, we already saw cards like Special Beam Cannon. This card is not sticky, in my opinion, but he will be able to turn the tide of the game, so he may be well worth investing cards to just keep him alive if it does come to battle. But yeah, when it comes to effects, he's getting wiped out. But this guy is really, really good, and I think some of his best momentum comes from when you can actually lay him on the field, use your energy marker, and then swing with him, and then gain your energy marker back. Because then you've played him, he's seen your energy marker go, you're going to get a draw at the end of the turn, and you still have your energy marker left up. So if he's on the field next turn, you can do it again. That being said, this is also one of those cascading cards where if you're not facing blue or green, you have a pretty good chance of stacking multiples of him and just making the game worse. Because if your opponent doesn't clear the first one, the second one's going to feel even worse when you're using multiple energy markers per turn and potentially drawing multiple times per turn. This guy is a house, and he may be probably one of the best secret rares I think we've gotten to date. I really do think so. But the next cards we're going to get, the next card we're going to get is the start of what I call the GT Toolbox. This is the top 5 searcher for GT. As long as they have GT in their name, you can pick it up. And as you can see, this Son Goku GT, this Bulma GT, this Pan GT right here, these are all really cool things. However, unfortunately, this card only searches Son Goku and Trunks, which is a bit of a pain. I would have liked it if she could search like, Gohan GT. Like I think she should have been able to search Sand and Earthlings with GT in their name. I think that would have been a much better effect, but they limited it to Son Goku GT and Trunks GT, which it hurts, but hey, we have a lot of targets, so let's get into it, right? The whole thing about the next couple cards before we move on from Pam is that GT is going to, black in the GT vein is going to give you the option to use an energy marker or to hold it and have effects based off of that. So a huge point about it is going to be mapping out your momentum when you need to set up turns to have an energy marker on board, or when you need to burn your energy marker knowing that next turn you're going to generate another one or not have to burn it. That will be one of the biggest parts of skill that comes into play with these black cards. So moving over to this Son Goku GT, this is one of the first cards it's actually going to be like, hey, you got to hold an energy marker. This guy just says permanent. If you have an energy marker, this card gains plus 5k power. 1k or one cost 20ks are always good because they help you go wide and burn out things. When you're trying to break through green or any deck, yellow, and they have, you know, 8 cards in hand, but they're at 3 life. Yeah, if you play 3 1-drops that go neutral with the leader, they will have to drop 4 cards out of their hand or start taking more life, which is very bad against a deck that can go as tall as this. So yes, you do need to watch out for that. This is going to be a card that's going to allow you to be very, very aggressive. Next, you got Tsunama, and Tsunama is just 1 cost, 15k power, 5k combo power. On play, if you remove an energy marker to use this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and rest it. I don't really think that's a powerful effect. There's nothing to really do after you rest it. There's not like you have any cards that do specific things with rested cards. I mean, you do have one later, but they both require energy markers, so it's just kind of, I think this card's kind of fodder. Speaking of a card that also has some playability, I didn't know I had it this close together in my order of cards. Get the Par Brothers. I actually like this card a lot. 1 cost, 5k power, 10k combo power, good all around. On play, if you remove an energy marker to use this card, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it can attack during the next turn. My bad, I thought I had somebody with rested, but it doesn't. So basically, you pop off with this card and you can stop somebody's card from attacking, choose their ace card, make sure it can't get up in your strategies the following turn. Very, very good. I very much so like this card, and I think, yes, it does depend on the format. Maybe it won't find a place in decks, but I think it's good enough to find a place in decks. Here's another one on the toolbox list, and this one says on play is a pan, 2 cost, 20k power, standard, 5k combo power, standard, self-awakener, standard. On play, yeah, you add up 1 card from your life to your hand. And then it says when attacking 1, draw 1 card. Then if you remove an energy marker for this skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that cost 4 or less and return to the understand. This is very, very special because having the ability to destroy, attack on, or bounce is just very important, or even stun with the Par Brothers. This deck is a toolbox, and the ability to also be able to draw a card replacing itself. Like, this card is great. The turn it comes down, the moment you play it, if you take a life, you're replacing itself. If you're attacking with it and using your energy marker, you're then drawing another card. At this point, this card has become a +1 at the cost of your energy marker, and it's stunning a fairly sizable card back to the hand, just bouncing it. That could be the Jiren that's keeping your opponent from taking damage, mind you, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And this is a very, 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 very strong card. So yeah, all 3 of those cards required you to use your energy marker, and the Goku required you to hold an energy marker. Another card that says hold your use your energy marker, this is Oob. Just 2 cost, 15k power, 10k combo power. On play, if you remove an energy marker for this card, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card from your hand. Excellent fixer, excellent filter to help you dig towards your pieces to better have your enablers and your payoffs. I do like this card. I do feel like it would be filler. Like, if you have spaces that you could use for it, go ahead, put the Oob in. But this isn't screaming put it in to the deck immediately. Like, you could just build well, but we don't know. We'll have to test this out. Next, you have Son Goten, right, GT, and 2 cost, 15k, 10k combo power. When attacking, if you have an energy marker, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at the cost of 2 or less and KO it. I like this. This is one of the ones where it's just like, hey, if you have an energy marker, hold it up. Now, the iffy thing is that while he does have good combo value, he's only going neutral with unawakened leaders, but he is destroying 2-drops, which is a lot in this game. There are a lot of valid 2-drops that you do want to be able to snipe off the board, so I do think this guy's pretty decent. Then you have this Trunks card, and this Trunks card is a little interesting. He says 2 cost, 20k, and he just basically says, yeah, 5k, so that's the normal stats. When attacking, if you have an energy marker, choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less and return to the understand. This is what I wish Goten was, just that extra 5k attack, because putting a 2-drop in your opponent's hand there's not a lot that you want to do that with a 2 or less. You have cantrips in the 1-drop zone, you have things like Whis in the 1-drop zone, you have self-awakeners like Hit, Caulifla. Like, there's a lot of 2-drops. The Pan in this deck, there's a lot of 2-drops you don't want to put in your opponent's hand because they have very pivotal come into play effects in the early to mid game. So I'm not really feeling this card. That being said though, real quick, we're going to talk about our sponsors and then we are going to get right back in the video, so don't you go anywhere. Alright y'all, taking a quick moment to shout out the sponsors for this video. First up is Mystic TCG, a store based in Missouri that sells all sorts of TCG product, even more than what you see featured here on this page. They also buy singles, collections, and prize cards, so make sure you actually catch them out in their store in Missouri at an event, or even on their Facebook, just to be able to see the events here, but also ask them what they're up to and what they're looking for in terms of vending. You can also use the code UNIXTCG to get discounts off your pre-orders as well as orders, so make sure you get your TCG product while it's hot. Then you have Eclipse Cards and Hobby based out of Texas, and if that sounds familiar, they did sponsor me with a box of Fusion World Set 1. But as you can see on this page, there is a plethora of TCG products that they are actually having for sale at their establishment. You can also even buy things that aren't just TCG products. As you can see on the screen right here, they hold their own locals, they hold their own events, and they are going out to more and more events. You can actually check their Facebook to see their schedule, as well as call and ask about their vending list. And at the checkout for their website, you can use the code UNI10X to actually get percentages off your pre-orders or your orders. So go check it out as well. And we're always up to all sorts of things in Universe X, so you can go down the description and check the link tree to find out about my other channels, my Twitch, or any other avenues that I'm creating content on. But if you want to go the extra mile, you can always go down to any description on any video and find my Amazon affiliate links. These products here will differ from video to video to cater to the audience in question, but it's just very easy to see something that you may like or be interested in, open it up and choose the style and or color that'll work for you. All proceeds will give kickbacks to the channel, so it'll be some direct support, and I'll always appreciate the help from you guys. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. As per usual, my sponsors are awesome, their stores are awesome, and they are awesome people, business owners. So with that being said, yeah, just check out the links. And also, if you want to help support me, go over to UniXDB, check out some of those videos. I will be giving away 2 copies of Sparking Zero as long as we're monetized by October. So let's jump back into the mix. Okay, so moving on to the next card, you have a Trunks, and as you can already see, this Trunks has more drip, more aura. He actually literally has more aura. He has an aura. The other Trunks did not have any. Like, actually, I'm going to put them side by side right now so you can compare them. But that being said, you really do have this effect. This is a promo, and this just straight up says 2 cost, 15k power, and then you have 10,000 combo power. Blocker, permanent opponent's turn when you have an energy marker, this card gains plus 10k power, so it becomes a 25k blocker when you have an energy marker. That's actually pretty cool. 2 cost is still kind of in a range where you can get blown up by a lot of stuff, bottom deck by a lot of stuff, but 25k is a little bit rougher for red to deal with until a little later. It doesn't really make him more sticky, but it does allow him to keep pressure off your face, but I'm just not sure if that's what black needs. Now, moving over to a card that has no aura but a great effect, you have GT Gohan. It pains me to say because I think Gohan is such a cool character, but just not in GT. 3 cost, 20k power, 10k combo power. On play, if you have an energy marker, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards the cost of 3 or less and KO it. A 3-drop that KOs a 3-drop is OD. That's great. That's actually exactly something that I would like to play. Good combo power, dude. There's not a single thing wrong with this card. Good combo power, goes neutral with most leaders, KO something that costs the same amount, so it's valid when it comes out in the game. Yeah, I love this card. The next one we have here is Trunks GT, 3-drop, 20k power, or so you think. 10k combo power, valid. And this guy says permanent, your turn. If you have an energy marker, this card gains plus 10k power. So just by doing what you're supposed to be doing, this is a 3 cost for a 30k attacker that also has 10k combo power. Never dead, never dead. This card is very, very, very good, and it's surprising. Like, yeah, it doesn't deserve to be higher than a rare, but man, it rocks that rare spot well. Now, this card is something that you have from the Bardock structure deck, but you're likely in the GT deck to have more energy marker uptime than you do in the Bardock deck in most cases. This is a 4-drop, 25k Frieza, 5 combo power, 5k combo power. When attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 3 or less in sand and its special traits and KO it. Then, if you have an energy marker, choose up to 1 field in your opponent's battle area and place it in the owner's drop. This card is marvelous, to be honest. This gets rid of the orange high. This gets rid of Cell Games Arena. This gets rid of the field card in Bardock, the field card in Majin Buu, any future field card. This is great. And then when it comes to 3 cost or less sands, that's not as exclusive as you would think it is. Like in red already, you got SR Gohan, you got Rare Gohan, you got SR Goku, you got the Rare Goku from this center. I think he's a common Goku. You have so many cards that you can get rid of with that. You have the Kefla, that just leave it away. You have Khalifa's, get rid of it. Then you have in blue Vegetos, Trunkses and Gotens. That one Gotenks probably won't stay on the field, but you got a fair amount of things that can get just messed up by this. There are Trunkses that get hurt by this. You go over to yellow. This says KO it, so you can't KO 3-drop Vegeta, but there still are some other hits, and I'm sure there are going to be more and more hits later. You got Majin Vegeta coming into the set, which is a 4-drop, but the promo is a 2-drop. There's things like that. In green, most of their Lobies, yeah, you can get away with this. There's a lot of cards this can hit, and the field cards are definitely, it's nice. This is one of the first strictly field card removal cards, period. And then next you have cards that we're out of the like hold an energy marker or keep it up or use it kind of division, and now we're just going into more of the toolboxes. The Giru is going to get rid of 1-drops, and you always need some 1-drop removal in case some 1-drops, cough cough Roshi like dudes come up and they're just unruly. You've got Golden Great Ape Son Goku, and this is interesting. 3 for 20k and a 10k combo value. When attacking, if your leader is Son Goku GT, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Great Ape who gained intelligence, add it to your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck. I'm gonna be real, if this was like get a GT Son Goku, or if this said search Great Ape who gained intelligence or SS4 Goku, well I guess or a Goku GT, that would work. You'd be able to pick up the secret rare, the SRs, the promo, some rares. You'd be able to pick up some good stuff. But because this is only picking up a card that I don't even think you'd want to play at 4 in this deck, no, you're just bottom decking good cards in hope of searching for an okay card, and that's just not it. So this whole card, therefore, is not it, in my opinion. Next, you've got this Bardock. This Bardock is not, of course, a GT card, but I think this is just staple black. It's just so powerful. 3 cost, 20k body, 5k combo value. Auto once per turn, use this card, or when you use a card in a combo while this card is in a battle, draw 1 card, then switch this card to active mode. So like this is so great. You can just use useless cards that you've already had on the field. You play a 1-drop, draw 1 card, and then you just like, you know, you have this playing out the next turn, and you just attack with it, combo with the 1-drop that already replaced itself, untap this guy and get another swing. 25 into a 20k at minimum. This is a great card. It reminds me of Fighting Against Fate if you guys played Masters. This is just such a wonderful card. And then, rounding off the battle cards, you've got this Bardock. Yes, it is more of the combo-centric cards that you'll find in the Bardock archetype. However, it's the only double strike in black. So, yeah. And with it being the only double strike in black, if you use the leader effect to pump it up, sorry, I don't know why this one just dropped into my head. You really will hit this guy off at a 50k swinging, and he will stay at a 50k. So your opponent will have to hard remove it or try to start swinging over 50k and hope you don't out combo that. So I do like the fact that you can make a 50k double strike out of nowhere just with your energy marker alongside this guy, and that'll be a good base for a shotgun. Play this guy for 5 and your energy marker is still up. Attack and use your leader effect, because I believe it's an activate main. Make this guy a 50k, and then just press with your Super Saiyan 4 Goku if he's still on board. Get your energy marker back, and then attack with this guy, and you can still use extra cards to boost him even further. That's crazy. Imagine curving out from the 4-drop SS4, doing your thing, and then playing this guy. Getting his effect off would have you draw a card at the end of the turn. If he survives, you then get to charge up to 5 an energy marker, play this guy, leader effect, get rid of your energy marker, make him 50k, swing with Goku at anything, if they're at 2 life, at anything else, whatever, get your energy marker back, and then attack with this guy and just slam down another card to boost his effect up now that you've got that energy marker back, and that's all on curve. Then you can start doing your shotgun. Base 65 is insane to start just piling on cards in Double Striker. That's half of Ribrian's work already. That's what we need. That's what we need in this deck as a finisher. That's a powerful finisher. So you gotta get rid of that Super Saiyan 4 if it's on the board. I'm just warning you. Now, moving on to these extra cards, you have got Spaceship of Hope. This is a top 5 searcher for any GT card, so it's wider than Pan's search ability, but it's also an extra card that doesn't give any combo value, so it's gonna have to be a weird mix of how much do we want it. I think that's the case. You're gonna have to figure that out. But I do think that this is a decent card and it shouldn't be overlooked. It's just, you have to realize it is what it is an extra card, Search 5. Next, you have the Great Ape who gain intelligence. Just 1 cost, activate main, choose up to one of your battle cards, and it gains plus 10k power for the battle. Then if there is a card with cost 4 or more in sand and special traits in the battle area, draw 1 card. Right now, this is really just the SS4, the promo that came out, that's going to be here. I think it's one of the ultimate battle cards, almost on the Majin Vegeta. And then your double strike Bardock. That's it. Yeah, until we get dual colored or we get more black sands, this is just not it. And then putting 4 good cards at the bottom of your deck to try to fish this out and most likely 5 is definitely not it. So I'm not very high on this card. Then the last card we have in here is 10 times Kamehameha. This is just pretty great. Activate main, choose 1. You choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and with a cost of 2 or less and KO it, count a mid. Or if you removed an energy marker for this card, you can touch up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with 3 costs or less, KO those. This is good. That's good. That's how you keep aggression off your back, and that is how you stay pretty healthy. I do think this is a pretty cool card, and it'll go in and out of our decks depending on how low to the ground the format gets. But seeing that Bardock can put a lot of pressure on and doesn't really go high on cost, this is probably just going to be a good card. And it's going to be good against red. And it's going to be good against blue. And it's definitely going to be good against yellow until they stack up Vegeta, which you can always bounce with your Pan, so it is what it is. Point being, we have a lot of cool cards, but now it's time to go into the overview. So all in all, Bardock is, like I said, Bardock is an aggro deck, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I believe, the toolbox. There are so many effects, and there's no way to fit all of them in the same deck. You're going to have to see what's good, test in your circles, understand what the format may be, and try to best correct your deck in order to have the effects that are going to be best for your field. Like if we saw nothing but a sea of Bardocks and some blue decks that do cheat out the 4-drop Goku with the orange City High or whatever, you're going to want to be able to get rid of the field card. So Frieza may be a 2 of, a 3 of. You know, if we get a bunch of Cells next set, you're going to want to run that Frieza. However, you know, if we have a bunch of decks that are putting out low to the ground cards, some U7 Gokus, some Frieza, or some yellow 20k spams, fellow black decks, you're going to want to run more copies of 10 times Kamehameha. There are so many things you can do in this deck, and I do believe that it's going to be the most conscientious of the 2 black decks in terms of meta calls and running the right composition. There will be wrong and right ways to build this deck that will all be dependent on what format you're in, what's your local meta, what's the regional meta, things like that. And I like that. That's that mind use going to work. I like that a lot. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I think there's a lot of strong plays in this deck, and I think this deck can do a little bit of everything while being able to have some pretty unique effects as well. The utilization of the energy marker is awesome in my opinion, because they're one of the coolest, shiniest parts about this game, and you can only really use them once, unless you're playing black, in which case that dude is on and off the field as many times as you can put it on and off the field. And I think that's going to get a lot more mileage out of your energy marker, making the game just feel a lot cooler. So with that being said, I do think that we're in for a nice one. I don't think that Super Saiyan 4 Goku will be for people that aren't in tune with the meta, for people that aren't testing as much as they should to be able to be doing well competitively, because there is a very real world, I think, where you build SS4 and it feels like your deck is an absolute clunker, and it's not because the deck is a clunker, it's because you kitted for the wrong tournament. I really do think that. So yeah, if you want to play SS4, I'm already putting it out right here, you need to know what you're going to be playing or have a pretty good idea. That being said, let me know what you think about the SS4 archetype. I am so happy because normally when a new color comes out, it can only be played in one way, and it's very strict with Bandai games. But it's very rare that you have a set come out and within the same color in the set it's released, it has 2 very different play styles. And I'm excited to see where that goes. So let me know in the comments if you're Team Bardock or Team SS4 Goku. Let me know what you're excited to build. And if you want to, drop some comments about what you'd like to see next. It's probably going to be Piccolo. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know why I said that. It's probably going to be Piccolo. But if you want me to go into my my deck list on Patreon, if you're already in the Patreon, just let me know in the comments when I drop it. When I drop the Bardock one, which is actually already happening. Sorry, I haven't dropped it yet, but by the time you see this video, it'll be live. So it is what it is. thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for your support. Every day is getting easier, and I'm gonna keep pushing through until I'm where I need to be. Thank you guys again for your words of comfort, support, and I will see you in the next video. And Gen Con, to be honest, I am going to Gen Con, so if you're gonna be there, roll call in the Discord, on the Patreon, in the comments, wherever. I'll see you there.